It was September 15th, 2020, when the Florida water management crew discovered a sunken Toyota Camry in the reservoir near Lake Okeechobee, and 39-year-old diver Carlos Rivera's breath caught when he saw the still readable Sunshine Elementary School teacher card in the vehicle's glove compartment. The car had been lying there for 20 years, a rusted white Toyota Camry, yet the driver was nowhere. Florida police had searched for Amanda Wilson for 20 years. The 22-year-old elementary school teacher had vanished as if the school trip route had swallowed her. Exactly 20 years later, that car at the reservoir bottom would change everything. Criminal laboratory technicians examined the school t-shirt found in the back seat and fiber samples from inside the vehicle. School bus fabric fibers, tire marks, shoe print residue, evidence that had been left exactly 20 years ago. A scan began in the Florida Forensic Fiber Analysis database. The result was shocking. The fiber samples pointed to a name, James Peterson, the school bus driver. There was another DNA on the car's steering wheel, back seat and door handle. Sweat traces, hair strands, skin cells. The database gave results in 2.1 seconds. James Peterson, 58 years old, a man who had worked as a bus driver at Sunshine Elementary School for 26 years. DNA analyses, fiber samples, and organic materials inside the vehicle pointed to a name Florida had trusted for 20 years. School bus driver James Peterson. Peterson had joined Amanda's search teams, supported the Wilson family's theory at school meetings that maybe she moved to another state, maybe she started a new life. He had given an interview on the local news channel, said, "Amanda was one of my favorite teachers. I miss her." Now police were asking him one question. How was Amanda's car lying at the reservoir bottom for 20 years with fiber samples from your bus, James? On the south shore of Lake Okeechobee, 150 meters beyond the old school picnic area, among the swamp reeds, Amanda Wilson's skeletal remains were found. 22 years old, a young teacher who loved teaching children to read and write. Silenced because the bus driver wanted to show her a special school trip route. Amanda Grace Wilson was born on June 12, 1978, at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. Her mother, Linda Wilson, was a 26-year-old nurse. Her father, Robert Wilson, worked as a customs officer at the Port of Miami. Little Amanda was the Wilson family's first child, and her parents were determined to do everything for her. The family's one-story house in Coral Springs was located in a quiet suburb of Florida. Here, palm trees lined the streets, summer days were hot and humid, and in the evenings, families sat on porches drinking lemonade. When Amanda was just 4 years old, Linda began teaching her to read and write. Linda never forgot that first day. When Amanda opened the alphabet book, her eyes sparkled. She traced the letters with her finger and asked questions. While other children played games, Amanda wanted to read books. Her first teacher, 60-year-old experienced educator Margaret Davis, told Linda that day, "This girl loves learning. One day she'll be a wonderful teacher." And Margaret was right. By the time Amanda turned 8, she won first place in her age category at the Florida State Young Writers Competition. At 10, she began volunteering as a teacher assistant at the school club. She helped teachers, taught young children to read. For Linda and Robert, Amanda's passion was a gift. Their daughter was happy, doing what she loved, and moving toward her dreams. When Amanda turned 16, she received early admission to Florida State University. She enrolled in the education department and became the most successful student in her class. Her professors admired her. Her friends loved her. During her university years, Amanda worked in the Coral Springs Volunteer Reading Program. Every weekend, she gave free reading lessons to children from low-income families. By May 2000, Amanda was 22 years old and had graduated. She received her education degree and immediately started as a teacher at Sunshine Elementary School. The school was in the heart of Coral Springs, a small but loving elementary school. 300 students, 20 teachers, and an old building. But for Amanda, it was perfect. Principal Dorothy Harper said the day she hired Amanda, "We need teachers like you, teachers who truly love children, who believe in their future." Amanda began teaching second grade students, 25 children, all 7 to 8 years old, all hungry to learn. Amanda taught them to read, write, do math, but most importantly, she taught them to dream. Her classroom was filled with books, colorful posters, drawings made by children. Every Friday she held story time. Children would sit on the carpet. Amanda would read them fairy tales. Their eyes would sparkle. They would dream. They would smile. Parents loved Amanda. Children admired her. School administration valued her. No one was aware of the dark obsession the school bus driver felt toward Amanda. James Peterson, 58 years old, had been a bus driver at Sunshine Elementary School for 26 years. He was tall, thin, a quiet man. He said he loved children, but his eyes were cold. Parents were polite but distant with him. Teachers found him professional. Amanda had only seen Peterson a few times, in the morning when the bus arrived, in the afternoon when children went home. Peterson always stared at Amanda. Long, disturbing stares. Amanda would feel uncomfortable, but wouldn't say anything. On Wednesday, March 15th, 2000, Sunshine Elementary School planned its annual spring picnic. Teachers and students would go to a park near Lake Okeechobee. Picnic, games, nature walk. Amanda would take her class children. At 8:30 a.m., school buses filled up. James Peterson was at the wheel of the large yellow bus. Amanda and her 25 students boarded the bus. Other teachers and students boarded other buses. At 9 o'clock, the convoy departed. The park was 30 kilometers away. The road passed through Florida's flat, palm-lined highways. Amanda sat at the front of the bus and helped the children sing songs. Peterson was watching Amanda from the mirror. At 9:35, the convoy arrived at the park. Teachers and students got off the buses. The picnic area was wide and green. Children ran, played, laughed. Amanda watched them, helped, took photos. Lunchtime came. Sandwiches, fruits, juices. Children sat at picnic tables and ate. Amanda sat with them. At 2:30 p.m., Principal Dorothy Harper made an announcement. "Time to go home. Everyone board your buses." Children gathered their belongings. Teachers counted them. Buses filled up. Amanda did the final check. She counted all the children. 24 children. One child was missing. "Where's Tommy?" she asked. Children looked around. "In the bathroom," someone said. Amanda ran to the bathrooms. Tommy was there, washing his hands. "Come on, Tommy, we're late." Amanda and Tommy ran to the bus. Everyone boarded. At 3 o'clock, the convoy said goodbye to the park and hit the road. At 3:15, the buses entered the highway. Amanda was tired, but happy. The children had had a beautiful day. At the back of the bus, some children were sleeping. Some were whispering. Peterson was watching Amanda from the mirror. At 3:42, Peterson suddenly slowed the bus and gave a right turn signal. "What's happening?" asked Amanda. "Shortcut," said Peterson. "There's traffic. We'll get there faster this way." Amanda frowned, but said nothing. Peterson took the bus off the main road and turned onto a side road. The road was narrower, less traffic. Palm trees and swamps surrounded the area. A few minutes later, Peterson turned right again. This time the road was even narrower, almost like a trail. "Mr. Peterson, where are we going?" asked Amanda. "Don't worry, teacher. Just a shortcut." Amanda felt uneasy. "Please, let's return to the main road." Peterson didn't answer. The bus moved forward. Trees thickened. The road deteriorated. Amanda stood up. "Mr. Peterson, stop the bus." Peterson suddenly braked. The bus stopped. The surroundings were silent, only trees and swamp sounds. Amanda looked back. The children were scared. "Everything's okay, children," said Amanda. Peterson opened the door and stood up. "Teacher, can you step outside? I need to check the tire." Amanda hesitated. "I'll stay here and watch the children." "No, I need your help." Amanda was uncomfortable, but obeyed. She got off the bus. Peterson got off after her and closed the door. Amanda looked around. No one was there. Only trees, swamp, and silence. "Where's the tire?" asked Amanda. Peterson approached her. His eyes were dark. Amanda stepped back. "Mr. Peterson, what are you doing?" Peterson didn't speak. He reached out his hand. Amanda screamed, but the sound was lost in the swamp. Inside the bus, children were looking out the window. They were scared, crying. Peterson grabbed Amanda by the throat and threw her to the ground. Amanda fought, but Peterson was stronger. 5 minutes later, Peterson returned to the bus. He was out of breath. His hands were shaking. The children were crying. "Where's our teacher?" they shouted. "Be quiet," said Peterson. "She'll walk back. Now sit down." He started the bus and backed out. He got onto the main road and drove toward the school. At 4:30, the bus arrived at school. Parents were waiting. Children got off the bus, crying, terrified. "Where's Teacher Amanda?" asked a parent. Peterson tried to appear calm. "She stayed at the park. She's gathering her things. She has her own car." Principal Dorothy Harper was worried. "I called Amanda. Her phone is off." "Maybe her battery died," said Peterson. Dorothy frowned. She asked the children. Children cried, explained. The bus stopped. Teacher Amanda got off. She never came back. Dorothy immediately called the police. At 5:15, Officer Richard Santos from the Florida State Police came to Sunshine Elementary School and took a report. Amanda's photo, her car's license plate, and the last place she was seen were recorded. By evening, search operations had begun. Volunteers, police teams, and search and rescue dogs scoured the area around Lake Okeechobee. No trace was found. On Thursday, March 16th, 2000, local television channels opened with the news of Amanda's disappearance. Her photo appeared on screens. A beautiful young woman with long brown hair, green eyes, and a warm smile. 22-year-old Amanda Wilson didn't return from yesterday's school trip. Her family is begging anyone with information about her to contact the police. James Peterson went to Florida police that Thursday and gave a statement. "Amanda stayed at the picnic area," he said. "She was gathering her things. I returned to school with the children. She was going to come in her own car." Detective Maria Rodriguez took down Peterson's statement. "When was the last time you saw Amanda?" "At the picnic area around 3 p.m. Everything was normal." "Was there anything that seemed strange to you?" "No, nothing. Amanda was a wonderful teacher." When Peterson returned home, he noticed his hands were shaking. He went to the storage box in his garage. He opened the door. Inside was Amanda's bag with bloodstains. Peterson put them in a large garbage bag, tied the bag's mouth tightly, and took a deep breath. "No one can know," he whispered. "No one will ever know." As weeks passed, search operations intensified. The FBI got involved. Every square meter around Lake Okeechobee was scanned. Divers searched the bottom of the lake. Nothing was found. The media took Amanda's story to national news. Headlines read, "Beloved Teacher Missing." Linda and Robert Wilson appeared in front of television cameras and tearfully begged for their daughter to return. In April, a tip came in. An anonymous caller said they saw Amanda in a yellow bus on Wednesday. Police questioned all school bus drivers in the area. James Peterson was on the list. Detective Rodriguez questioned him again. "Mr. Peterson, where were you Wednesday afternoon, March 15th? "I returned from the park to school with the children." "Did you stop anywhere along the way?" "No, I went directly to school." The children said the bus stopped. Peterson hesitated. "Oh, yes. I made a brief stop. One of the children was sick. Rodriguez frowned but had nothing to charge Peterson with. Searches continued until May. When summer came, hopes diminished. As 2001 began, Amanda Wilson's case went cold. Linda Wilson collapsed. She quit her job. She spent her days looking at Amanda's photos, sitting in her room. Robert tried to keep working but felt empty inside. In 2003, Linda and Robert divorced. The pain had separated them from each other. Each had lost Amanda in a different way, and they couldn't carry each other's pain. Linda moved to a small apartment in Miami. She prayed for Amanda every day. Every Wednesday, she went to Lake Okeechobee and sat by the shore, imagining that her daughter would somehow return. Robert tried to work and forget, but at night he heard Amanda's voice. "Dad, I'm going to be a teacher." James Peterson continued his life normally. He kept working at Sunshine Elementary School. He transported new children to school. Families continued to trust him. In 2010, Peterson retired. He began living a quiet life in his house in Coral Springs. He had never married. He had no friends. Neighbors found him polite but distant. No one knew what he was hiding in his garage. Years passed. 2008, 2012, 2018. Amanda Wilson's case was forgotten. Only her family remembered. Linda died of heart failure in 2019. Her last words before dying were, "Find Amanda. Please find her." September 2020. Florida Water Management launched a reservoir security project at Lake Okeechobee. Diver teams began examining the reservoir bottom. On September 15, 2020, diver Carlos Rivera noticed something underwater, a metal object under layers of soil and algae. He began digging. There was a car, a white Toyota Camry. The license plate was readable, Florida KJH 5893. Rivera's blood froze. He called the police. Florida State Police came with forensic teams. The car was carefully removed from the reservoir bottom. Inside, in the back seat, a school t-shirt and documents were found. The fabrics were wet, but fiber samples could still be analyzed. Detective James Harlow took over the case. He examined the old files. In 2000, James Peterson was the school bus driver. Harlow sent the fiber samples to the state laboratory. Results came 3 weeks later. The fiber samples from the back seat matched school bus fabric. There were DNA samples on the car's steering wheel, on the seats, and on the door handle. October 8, 2020, 7 a.m. Detective Harlow and 6 police officers arrived at 4721 Palm Avenue. James Peterson was 78 years old. When he opened the door, he didn't look surprised, as if he had been expecting this. "James Peterson, you are under arrest in connection with the murder of Amanda Wilson," Harlow said. Peterson bowed his head. "I knew," he whispered. "I knew you would come one day." During interrogation, Peterson confessed everything. He explained that on March 15, 2000, he made Amanda get off the bus, took her to the swamp area, attacked her, and killed her by strangulation. "Why?" asked Harlow. Peterson closed his eyes. "I don't know. I've been asking myself that for years. I felt something for her, something I couldn't control. That day, on the road, something broke. I couldn't have her, so no one could." "How did you bury the car?" "I went back at midnight. I took her car and drove it into the reservoir. It sank." The trial began in January 2021. Robert Wilson sat in the front row. He was holding Linda's photo. Peterson pleaded guilty. The jury decided in just 2 hours. First-degree murder. Life imprisonment. No parole. When the judge looked at Peterson, he said, "She trusted you. Her family trusted you. Children trusted you. And you used that trust to kill her." Peterson was taken away silently. Robert spoke to reporters outside the courthouse. Amanda is at peace now with her mother. Amanda Grace Wilson was buried at Miami Memorial Cemetery on March 18th, 2021. Next to her mother, hundreds of people attended the funeral. Her former students, teacher friends, families. Everyone remembered Amanda. The gravestone read, Amanda Grace Wilson, 1978 to 2000. Taught children to read, reading books in the sky. Robert placed white roses on the grave. I miss you, baby girl, he said. Every day I miss you. Sunshine Elementary School established a library in Amanda's honor. In the heart of the school, filled with hundreds of books, Amanda Wilson Memorial Library. When the story ended, one lesson remained. Trust is fragile, and some monsters come disguised as school bus drivers.